Hi. Hi. Hello. I hope you guys are doing okay. I'm sorry. Sometimes I do sound funny. But today I'm going to talk about domestic abuse because it's a topic that needs to be talked about because I myself don't understand it because I think logically you shouldn't touch anyone. But anyways, um so yeah, we're going to talk about domestic abuse. And also, this is what I found out. When I write something down and I talk about it, it's so much easier for me to like it flows so much smoother than me just talking from the top of my head. I mean, that's not wrong either, but like it's not as bad, but writing things down and finding information about it, like chef's kiss. But yeah, today's topic is domestic violence. So, what is domestic abuse, domestic violence? It is a pattern of behavior in any relationship that is used to gain or maintain power and control over an intimate partner. The abuse can be physical, sexual, or emotional. At times, it is economical or psychological actions that are threatening and influencing another person. This includes any behavior that frighten, intimidate, terrorize, manipulate, hurt, humiliate, blame, and injure or wound someone. It can happen to anyone from any race, age, sexual orientation, religion, or gender. For the longest time, all over social media, every Somali Bantu man or woman has come across a domestic violence case. We have seen all the brutality unravel on Snapchat, Facebook, or TikTok. And it's always when it has gotten really bad when we do end up seeing these things. The most horrific case, the most horrific case that I can remember within the Somali Bantu community is of a man named CD Subo. From early 2000s, I think this case happened in 2005. He went home one day and got into a heated argument with his wife and ended the lives of his children. He also attempted to take the life of his wife that same day, but she ended up surviving with minor injuries. The loss of her children being the biggest wound he gave her. That story had always haunted me. Even sadder is that her community knew about the abuse, but nothing was done to help her even mentally. As I said before, the concept of mental health doesn't exist in our community, or even the story of my own mother who experienced the same type of abuse. No one really helped her. People just kept telling her, forgive him, stay with your husband. As a community, we can agree we are terrible at handling domestic abuse. Again, I have repeated myself. This is trauma being passed down from generation to generation. We as a whole need to free ourselves from these chains. How do people give away their daughters and force them to stay in an unhealthy relationship where she endures abuse? Most of the time, it's the relationship where the girl is married to her cousin. Escaping these types of situations is hard because you have to pick which monster you have to stay with. One being the ones who birthed you and abused you, and the other being the one you ran to and hoped you can escape the abuse from, just for him to abuse you all over again. A lot of women sometimes don't leave because the abuser provides pleasure and gifts, but they won't receive those gifts if if they go back to their parents' house. If it makes sense. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. When a Bantu female approaches her mother for advice against abuse, they're given the worst ways to solve these issues. Here is an example of excuses. 1, he is your husband, so he is given the right to discipline you. 2, sabr, have patience. Time will pass, he will change. 3, forgive him. You guys have kids now. 4, don't tell your friends, it is shameful. 5, massage him and fuck him good, and he'll become nicer. When will some of these parents understand becoming a slave for him is not a solution? We must do better. Telling your daughter things like, your dad used to beat me and abuse me all kinds of ways and I turned out fine and had your siblings, is not okay. If anything, people should feel ashamed of admitting they don't care. Because why are you telling your daughter that you were okay with abuse and had her siblings? How does that help her situation? It don't, you know? We can also admit and make parents take accountability for forcing these young women to stay in violent relationships because they used the money he paid to marry her. Like, why are you forcing your daughter to stay in a relationship just because you used his money? That's your problem. That problem is between you and the guy. It's not between, like, your daughter and her man. Like, free your children from all these abusive relationships. Like, stop doing too much. That man was not buying a slave when he paid. He was honoring the parents for allowing him to have responsibility to take care of that girl mentally, physically, and financially while he stayed married to her. You feel me? And no amount of money is worth losing your child or the mother of your grandchildren. So let's stop the manipulation to get these girls married to just get rid of them out of your home. Let's stop romanticizing how massages work on our abusers. If they lay their hands on you, call the damn police. Their jail cell buddy can massage them. With that being said, it's enough. We heard enough and seen enough. You feel me? For those women who are being told nobody will want you because you have too many kids, listen. God blessed you so you could have a reason and a purpose to live. Your journey with that abuser is over. He is not and will not be the only man with a penis or money. But understand this, those kids will be loved unconditionally with or without a trifling ass man around. You birthed your energy. You don't need nobody to tell you what to do. You are a human and deserve to be loved and honored correctly at all times till the last day you take your breath. Whenever an abuser is bored, they will start problems. That's only because they know what to do to keep you afraid and locked within your mind. It goes like this. He causes a problem, then rewards you. He will do this many times until he gets you where he wants you. He will have you cutting off your family, your friends, also getting cut off. You'll even find yourself giving him your body when you don't really want to. You will start to blindly and subconsciously choose that reward he always used to give you, but that reward stops coming your way. There is always a price to pay when you follow the directions he asks you to follow, and he rewards you, and it will always get worse. And there's a price to pay for it when you choose to stay, and it's usually with your life if you don't get out quick. Your children shouldn't see you hurt or learning how to hurt others in the future. You want to stand up and let them know to always be safe first. It's understandable given our circumstances to never know it's wrong to be taken advantage of. The Somali Bantu community doesn't understand the seriousness of domestic abuse. If they did know, we would have better outcomes. Here is how to know if you are in a domestic abuse or domestic violence situation. Recognize these signs. Does he embarrass you or make fun of you in front of your family and friends or his friends? Does he tell you you are not good enough, you are good for nothing, you can't accomplish anything? Does he tell you you're nothing without him? Does he treat you rough, push you and shoves you? Does he control where you are at all times? Does he use drugs or alcohol as an excuse to say hurtful things? Does he blame you for what he did to you? Does he pressure you for sexual things you're not ready for? And then for the sexual things, it's like, this is what I mean. Does he accuse you of cheating all the time? Does he insult you in a sexual way? Does he hold you down during sex? Does he manipulate you into having sex? Does he demand sex when you are sick and tired or after beating you? Does he hurt you with objects or weapons during sex? Does he ignore your feelings? Other things is like, does he make you feel like there is no way out of the relationship? Like, he doesn't allow you to do things you want, like seeing your family and friends? Does he try to keep you hostage at home, so you won't go outside and expose them, or even takes your phone away because of jealousy per se? If he does those things, it's red flags everywhere. This is some advice on how to safely leave a situation like that. First, you have to tell yourself, I am in a bad relationship. Trust me, this works. That first step, it works. Whenever there is a problem somewhere, you first have to admit that there is a problem. That's why I left my last relationship. I knew there was a problem, so I left. Even my other one, I knew there was a problem, so I left. But to continue, first admit you have been abused. It's okay to cry it out. You can call 1-800-799-7233 or 1-800-787-3224. Those are phone numbers you can call to make sure that you are safe and get ideas within your community. It's a hotline. The hotline will be available and will be able to refer you to an organization in your local area. Many of them have emergency shelters. The shelters are safe havens that provide further help and resources such as individual therapy, group therapy, providing clothing and food. They will also help you financially with your kids. Find someone you can trust and ask them to help come up with a plan. Document the abuse as best as you can. Keep evidence of physical abuse, such as photos, a journal of violent incidents. I'm so sorry for my speech. I feel so bad. But let me continue. Share your escape plan with your children and reassure them that their safety is your first priority. Hide extra sets of car keys. Set money aside. Ask family or friends to have money aside for you. Give them money so they could hold for you. Keep a list of important family members, their contacts. Take important documents with you. Don't ever forget that. Keep your abuser's schedule and know when it's safe to leave. Erase internet history when looking for help. In case he ever takes your phone to try to see what you've been doing, make sure it's stay clean. Lastly, go MIA completely. Go MIA. Get a restraining order, change your phone number, your kids' schools, change what stores you shop at. Tell people who take care of your kids to never give your number to your abuser, or approve contact to the kids. So you can give a copy of the restraining order to the kids' daycare, the kids' school, things like that. Even to family members, to make sure that the abuser will not find you ever. So that you could still be in the city, but he would never know where you are at, period. You know what I mean? But that is the segment for today. This one took me a minute to write. I started to take breaks because I get overstimulated when I'm doing these small research projects just to post on the podcast. It's complicated for me on my side. Like I said, I am autistic, so some things are very hard for me to do. It took a minute for me to come back and post, but I apologize. But I did the best I could. But I had to do this one first. I have another one I have to do again in a few minutes, but I'm glad I got this one done. I really want you to be safe. Your sisters, your mothers, your aunties, your cousins, please be safe. Be safe. Choose you. Choose you. Please. Please, your family needs you, so stay safe. Y'all be blessed. This is